Hello, welcome to our news broadcast today, and following are today's headlines.
Prime Minister Win Tanzung visits Russia. Central Bank cuts key interest rates. Guangji eco-friendly village benefits locals.
Prime Minister Win Tanzung arrived in Moscow on May 12, beginning his 4-day official visit to Russia. The visit is made at the invitation of Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev.
At the airport, Zung was received by Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Igor Mogulov, Russian Ambassador to Vietnam Andrei Kovtun, and Vietnamese Ambassador to Russia Phạm Xuân Sơn, among others. Zung and his entourage later laid a wreath at the monument dedicated to President Ho Chi Minh in the Russian capital. He met the Vietnamese embassy staff and representatives of the Vietnamese community in Russia. Vietnamese Ambassador to Russia Phạm Xuân Sơn said during his visit, Prime Minister Zung and his counterpart Medvedev will discuss and sign a number of new agreements aimed at promoting the comprehensive strategic partnership in all fields. They will discuss measures for Russian businesses to continue exploring and exploiting oil and gas in Vietnam's continental shelf and establish a Vietnam-Russia University of Technology in Hanoi. They will look at ways to raise two-way trade to $7 billion by 2015 and $10 billion by 2020 and intensify cooperation in nuclear energy. Last year, Vietnam and Russia upgraded their relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership level, marking an important development in their bilateral ties. Two-way trade has been growing robustly, reaching nearly $2.45 billion last year, or a year-on-year increase of 23%. In the first 3 months of this year, it is $734 million. By April 20, 2013, Russia ranked 18th among 101 foreign investors in Vietnam, with a combined registered capital of $2.07 billion, pouring in 93 projects. Meanwhile, Vietnam has invested more than $1.7 billion in 16 projects in Russia.
Green growth and poverty reduction for sustainable development are the main focus of the 5th ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly Caucus, which took place in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng.
The two-day meeting, which wrapped up on May 13, also considered legal harmonization in the two fields. It reviewed the implementation of resolutions adopted at the 33rd General Assembly of the ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly. More than 60 delegates attended the event, including parliamentarians from 9 member countries of the Assembly and representatives of the Assembly Secretariats, the ASEAN Secretariat, and international organizations. The event is held in rotation among the Assembly's member countries, with the aim to create a regular forum for its member countries, special observers, as well as between the Assembly and ASEAN. ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly Caucus is tasked with assisting the Executive Committee in monitoring the implementation of the Assembly's resolutions in member countries, while providing a platform for parliamentarians to discuss pressing issues of regional concern.
The State Bank of Vietnam has cut key interest rates by 1 percentage point, applicable since May 13th.
Under the decision, the refinancing and discount rates will be lowered to 7% and 5% respectively. Meanwhile, the overnight rate in the interbanking electronic payment will be reduced to 8% from the current 9%. The maximum rate on short-term Vietnamese dong loans for agriculture, rural development, exports, supporting industries, small and medium-sized enterprises, and high-tech businesses will be brought down to 11% instead of the current 12%. Earlier on March 25th, the central bank also cut benchmark rates to support businesses. Accordingly, the refinancing and rediscount rates were lowered to 8% and 6% from 9% and 7%, respectively. Meanwhile, the overnight interbank rate was cut down to 9%. The move was made after the General Statistics Office had reported that March Consumer Price Index decreased by 0.90% against the previous month.
Nearly 2,000 volunteers joined in the fourth Green Consumption campaign that kicked off in Ho Chi Minh City on May 12. The event aims to promote the use of environmentally friendly products.
Of the 8 projects, I Love Green Products is the highlight. It will collect milk cans that will be recycled and turned into eco-friendly roof tiles and rubbish bins. Thanks to their waterproof properties, insulation, and durability, the tiles will replace all old roofing at primary schools in Hóc Môn district. Rubbish bins at the September 23rd Park will also be replaced. In a previous campaign, milk and meat products were brought into use in Binh Chánh district. The event encourages people to support companies that observe environmental protection practices.
10 years after a project to move Quang Tri residents to an eco-friendly village on sand area in the coastal district of Chieu Phong was launched, their lives have been improved.
Like others in Jiu Lung commune, Witten Chong's family faced numerous difficulties when they first moved to the eco-friendly village in Hamlet 5. However, thanks to their great efforts and local support, Chong's family has set up a business breeding fowl, rearing fish and growing crops. In Jiu Phong district alone, there are 11 eco-friendly villages on sand area which are now home to 750 households. Notably, Jiu Lung commune has 100 households. Those living in the village received state assistance to build homes, plant trees and dig lakes to breed fish and store water for farming. The village is accessible by road and has electricity and irrigation works. The 100 poor families that settled in the village have escaped poverty. Some of them are now well off. Residents' lives are now much better. In the future, we will call on the locals to revamp their farms to grow saplings more effectively. At the same time, we will gradually relocate more locals to other sand areas. Local authorities will ramp up infrastructure and transfer technology to farmers in the village. The people living here will get to know plants that are easily grown on sand. The project has turned thousands of hectares of white sand into rich farmland. It really is a model for socio-economic development and poverty reduction.
The final round of Robocon Vietnam that took place in the central city of Da Nang on May 12 saw the great success of teams from the Dong Nai-based Lạc Hồng University.
The teams overcame 29 other rivals to reap up all 3 top prizes. This is the 4th consecutive year the Dong Nai-based Lạc Hồng University has won the Robocon Vietnam contest. The 2 highest-ranked teams of LHSEE and LHNVN Eagle will represent Vietnam at the 2013 Asia-Pacific Robot Contest, which is scheduled for August in Vietnam. The 2013 Robocon Vietnam competition, themed Green Planet, was organized by the Toyota Motors Vietnam and Vietnam Television. It saw the competition among 180 teams from 45 universities and colleges nationwide. 32 best teams were selected for the final round.
A Vietnamese Control Festival took place in the Russian city of Volgograd on May 11th. The event saw the second of its kind held so far in the city, home to 500 Vietnamese workers and 300 students.
On display were 20 booths introducing Vietnamese culture, history, tourism, economy and folk games. More than 1,000 guests attended the event on the opening day. Besides traditional Vietnamese cuisine, visitors were able to try their hand at calligraphy and join folk games. Popular with visitors were music performances, martial arts, and a fashion show with international friends from Russia, the Republic of Korea, and Nigeria. An auction of Vietnamese handicraft goods were also held. All proceeds would go to orphans and underprivileged children in Volgograd.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.